significant anymore because of the
Yeah.
accusations attributed to their name.
And this is how actually this is how liberals have done such a good job of basically psyoping a generation of men for the past like 20 years, and why masculinity has died so much. Because what liberals have done is that when they basically control your thinking or your thought process. They're like, if you have a certain thought, you're like, you know what, I don't really think men or women are equal. No, you're not allowed to say that, you're a misogynist. And then they make you associate a bad feeling with that word, that even though this is just regular normal human thinking, understand, like just realizing and seeing the differences between men and women. You as a man knowing that like when a whore is doing some whore shit, you have a natural instinctual feeling to be disgusted. Like, bitch, what the fuck are you doing? You know what I'm saying? I would never wife you. That's a natural feeling. But what women will do is when you express said feeling, which is natural for you, or what the liberals have done, is that when you express that feeling, they're like, misogynist, you hate women. And it's like, you're like, no, it's not that I hate. No, you do. You're a misogynist. And then they get everyone, look, see, he's a misogynist. He's a misogynist. He hates women. They get everybody to they show everyone that you're this. And because of this smearing, and a lot of guys wanted to avoid said smearing, even though you're having a natural thought, they're like, oh, no. It's fine. Women can be whores. It doesn't matter. It's okay. Let them be whores. And the liberals like, okay, good, great, nice. That's the right opinion. You see, in that way, because liberals are more than willing to smear you for having the wrong opinion, it forces you to reject natural thoughts. Understand? This is also why Trump had to campaign on the idea of common sense, because liberals have went so far left that they've gaslighted everyone, they've psyoped everyone into not thinking properly. This is what they've done to most men. This is why most men are so unmasculine. It's crazy, because they've been psyoped to be less masculine. They've been psyoped to not think clearly and objectively and logically. They've been psyoped to prioritize emotion over everything. They've been psyoped to prioritize conformity over everything. As I just explained in the example I just gave you guys, how like you can have a natural feeling as a guy, and if you express this natural feeling, like, oh, when she's being a whore, I don't really like that, they catch you saying that out loud, they'll label you instantly and then tell everyone. This way, you don't have a chance to defend yourself. Do you guys understand here? That's the game here. Liberal, there's nothing that liberals are more scared of than intelligence and articulation. When a man can articulate how he really feels and explain why something makes sense, that's dangerous to evil people, because evil people love to label niggas. That's their whole goal. They're like, okay, if I can just label this guy, if I can just make him seem a certain way that he's not, this is exactly what they did to Tate. I'm literally explaining what happened to Tate in a nutshell, basically. But I'm also extrapolating it to how, like, this is what has gone on with men over the past 2 decades, aggressively, during the democratic regimes, basically. But basically it's like they're forcing you to think a certain way, not because you actually think that way, not because you actually agree with the nonsense, but because agreeing with it is better than getting smeared and labeled and canceled. Understand? So at least now things have gotten a lot better, because more men have been more than willing to be like, no, I don't give a fuck, you can cancel me, I'm still going to say whatever the fuck that I want. And we need more men doing this, because this is what reestablishes balance. Because if more men don't care about getting canceled, if more men don't give a fuck about liberals labeling them, calling them a misogynist, homophobic, transphobic, any of these words, any of these dumbass words that don't mean anything, racist, any of these dumbass words, the more men that don't care about these words, the more power that is returned to them. Because a lot of conservatives and a lot of men, unfortunately, were ruined over the past 2 decades because of this, because it's the labeling. They're so afraid of the labels that they do not want to articulate shit that clearly makes sense to them. They're more than willing to sacrifice who they actually are to protect themselves. But the problem is, that's how everything goes to shit. If there's no men that are willing to stand up and speak the truth and articulate the truth accurately and effectively, well, everything is fucked. And the liberals understood this, so they're like, okay, let's attack all the masculine men. Hence why Tate has all these criminal investigations going on, because they're like, okay, He was saying all these things that are anti what the liberals wanted. They're like, oh shit, we can't have, we need to destroy, we need to find a way to destroy this nigga because he's pushing an agenda that is actually righteous and it's against what we want to go on. So let's destroy him. So I just want you guys to keep this shit in mind. Like, if you understand something and you are seeing something clearly, you are recognizing a pattern, say it. Do not say it out of fear of what somebody's going to think or do or whatever. Because if you don't, that's how the bad shit happens. The bad shit happens when the good people start becoming bitches. Because when you're a good person and you're a bitch, you actually end up becoming evil because you allow evil people to do bad things. So just keep that in mind, y'all.